It's your girl Creole. Let's go. It's your girl Creole. It's your boy Retro. It's your boy Retro. It's your boy Retro. Retro. It's your boy Retro. Let's go. It's Creole. Let's go. It's Creole. Let's go. Your girl Creole. Let's go. Your girl Creole. Oh yeah. It's your girl Creole. Let's go. It's your girl Creole. It's your boy Retro. It's your boy Retro. But yeah.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Retro.
And this is your girl Creole, and we are back for another episode of...
But yeah, we in the building. Another Tuesday. I know we missed last Tuesday. Man, we got so much shit to tell you.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, man.
I left it off the list, but yeah, we definitely have to talk about why we didn't do the podcast last week. We have a legit reason.
Man, so I hope everyone's doing well on this lovely Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are still tuning in, downloading, spreading, sharing the love. We thank all our listeners for tuning in. Thank you very much.
We have crossed the 1,000 download mark. We actually at 1,100 now.
All right. Keep it going. Keep it going. Like I say, we're trying to get sponsors and everything that we need in order to get to that next peak. You know what I mean? We're not plateauing out. We keep on progressing and keep on growing. But let's get into it, y'all. So, all right. First of all, FYI, me and Creole, we just came from the gym. I know y'all was like, well, I thought y'all was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, Creole is back off on weekends with her job, and the way her schedule works, I'll make sure there was a job calling for me. But I only want to make sure that we are able to stick with the schedule of working out together. It's now going on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So it's back to back to back. And, you know, I love Creole, but I'm fucking hating her right now because of this shit.
It's not my fault.
But it's all good, though, you know.
You came to me with the whole idea of getting a trainer.
Okay, we don't need no trainer then next month then. Save all money. That's the case. But nah, like I say, it's just get my body used to it and whatnot, so it's gonna be all good. So last week, so this what happened. I've been wanting to get a truck because, you know, a DJ and all this. And I'm tired putting everything in my car. Plus, I like to sit up high, ride high.
Cause you're a country boy.
Right. And everybody on my daddy's side don't have cars. They have some type of SUV or truck. So I've been eyeing a vehicle. I found one. Found one on Facebook. It was a Tahoe 2005, 180,000 miles. You know, it was a mechanic. He had it. So I'm like, all right. Looked at the picture. So I told Creole, we're going to go out there and snatch it. So I picked Creole up Tuesday morning. We left about here, about 7?
About 7:30.
7:30. We're on the road, heading to Rain, Louisiana. That's on the outskirts of Lafayette. We driving.
It's about 2 hours away.
Making good time. Driving.
Yep. We get there for 10.
We get there for 10.
We left about 10:25.
Well, hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We get there for 10. I get there, look at the truck, pop the hood, check everything out. He's like, yeah, let's go for a test ride. So we hop in and me and Creole and the guy. Mind you, when we pull up to the place, the guy had Trump flags. I was like,
go in the garage. He had a Confederate flag and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but like I say, it's all business. I don't care. This is business. So, and like I said, the guy's a mechanic. He has a shop. So he like, yeah. So when we get there, you know, I'm looking at everything. He said, yeah, it looks like it just started leaking a little oil or something. But I say, is it road ready? He's like, yeah, we're going to test drive it. I said, all right, cool. So we're driving. It's running fine. AC, heat work, all that works. It's not shaking. It's shifting. Everything is good. I said, okay, cool. Did the paperwork, give him the money. Creole drives the truck back. I'm driving my car back. So we leave. I'm like, where you look at on the gas? It's a half a tank. I said, well, stop at the gas station, fill up.
But let's keep in mind, that whole thing part was quick. Because we got there for 10 to meet the guy for 10. We were leaving about 10:25. Mm-hmm. That's how fast all that happened.
Right.
And we expected to be back by like noonish to be able to do the podcast and all that stuff.
Right. So we stop at the gas station. I try to fill up and gas started coming out the tank. I'm like, So, well, maybe there's something wrong with the gauge or whatnot. So we took off. So I'm driving, Creole in front of me. And I'm like, what is this mist putting on my windshield? So I roll down the window. And mind you, she's in the truck. I'm in my car. I'm like, this might be all. So I call her up. I say, hey, how the truck? She's like, everything's fine. It's good. Da, da, da. It's not running hot. It's riding. So we pushing it. We're driving. Drive through Lafayette. Drive through Bro Bridge. Went over the Atchafalaya Basin. No problems. Get to Baton Rouge. No problems. We heading down. We on 10 heading towards New Orleans. We get to Sorrento.
No, we got to Gonzales,
Burnside. My car, the dashboard lights went off, but it was still running. I'm like, okay, that's weird. All of a sudden, it shuts off. Pull over to the side. Try to start it up. Wouldn't start. I don't have no cables. So I told Creole, I said, hey, go to the next exit, get some jumper cables, gas up, whatever. Well,
because at that point, the truck started showing that the gas mileage was dropping really, really fast.
Right.
At that point. So then we pulled over. Retro says, go get some jumper cables, like go to the next exit. Because we remembered we stopped at a racetrack at the next exit in Sorrento on our way out.
Right.
To grab some snacks. And then we so we knew there was the racetrack there to get some. Oh Lord, I got food in. Never mind. So we knew there was a racetrack in the next exit. So I go to crank the truck, and the truck is showing me that it went from having 80 miles worth of gas to 50 miles worth of gas just from it being cut off. And then it started telling me that the oil was low.
Right. So when she drove over, I looked, because when you sit in the spot and you have your AC on, it'll leave a puddle of water or whatnot. So I went and checked and see if it was, that was water or what. Sure enough, it was oil. So I said, okay, so I do have an oil leak. So she gets to the gas station. She gets the jumper cables. She buys some oil, but it's a truck. So she can't reach where you got to pour the oil in. So they had a guy, he helped her pour the oil in.
A nice slugged up gentleman in a Lakers jersey. Because I say that because like on a normal day, I'd have just assumed he was flirting and be like, yeah, I'm good. But he was like, you need help? I was like, absolutely.
Please.
Please, absolutely. And he was nice. He had got his oil rag. He checked the oil for me. He changed the oil for me. He realized I had bought the wrong oil. Right. And we went inside and exchanged it for the right oil and all that stuff like that. And he changed my oil for me. I tried to fill up the gas tank, but once again, it took some gas and then it spilled back out. So we think just the gauge shows low when it's not really low, which is not a bad thing. I would rather it show me that it has less gas and have gas in it as opposed to showing me it has gas and not have gas.
Right.
So yeah, I get the jumper cables. The guy changes the oil for me. I top off on gas and all this stuff like that. And I drive from Sorrento back to Gonzales to go meet up with Retro.
So, pulls up, put the cables on, let the car sit for a minute, jump the car off, start. I said, okay, good. Hop in the car, drive. Next thing you know, go past
the Sorrento
exit. Everything's good. Get past that. Start coming up with Gramercy. Whoop, died again. Pulled over. So it's either two things. Either I need a new battery or I need an alternator. I looked on my phone for the nearest AutoZone. They had one in Gramercy, but I said, you know what?
But it wasn't right off the interstate.
Right.
It would have been a ride.
It had to go in deep. So I was like, let's try to get to La Plaza, go to AutoZone out there.
And that was another, 11 miles? We were like holding our breath, hoping we can get there.
So I sat there, put the cables on, started the car, let it charge up. Sat there for a good minute, just like probably 5 minutes.
It was probably like 10, 15. We sat there for a while.
Driving, I was good. Exit off of La Plaza, good. Got close to where we had to be, needed a charge. Charged it one more time, made it to the AutoZone. So, get to AutoZone. I had to buy an alternator that was $229. I had to buy the tools to change the alternator while we were there. I bought some oil because I'm like, the truck is going to be sitting. The oil didn't go down after that, but still just don't want to chance it. Sit here, bought the oil. And also, Creel bought some air freshener stuff because the guy who sold it to us, he was a smoker and that smoke smell. He was driving the car
while he had it. He was driving the truck while he had it, and he was smoking up a storm and that thing. And and with the seats being upholstery, is sitting in the seats, and I couldn't stand the smell the entire time. So when I had stopped off in Sorrento, I had grabbed some Febreze like clips to put in that, and it helped a little bit, but it wasn't bad. But when we got the AutoZone, and I saw that smoke spray that was like specifically to get rid of the smell of smoke. I sprayed the mess out of it in the car. It's like I couldn't take it. Especially the way the day was going. I couldn't take it.
So I sat there, changed the alternator. Creel helped me change the alternator in the parking lot. Changed the alternator in the parking lot of AutoZone La Plaza. And
it's so cute because you saw the grease on my jeans. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. I got grease on your pants. And by that point, I was just like, I just don't care anymore. Like I was like, I don't care. I just want to go home and eat because we were starving because we hadn't ate all day because we were trying to stick to our diet and be good and all this stuff like that. And because we were like, oh, well, we're not supposed to eat till 12. So we was like, oh, well, we'll eat when we get back because we'll be back by 12 or a little after 12. We got back to the city at 5:30.
So start the car. Car was good. Made it to the city. Dropped the car off to Peter. Dropped the truck off to Peter.
Yeah.
So the truck been at Peter. So he called me the next day. He was like, yeah, a lot. I said, what you mean a lot? He's telling me all the things, all the gaskets that need to be changed, the fuel pump, everything. I'm like, so I text the guy. I'm like, hey man, I was like, I wasn't rude and I said, good morning. I made it down to the city, but the oil leak is very bad. I mean, is there any way I can get like $1,000 back? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't sell the vehicles with warranty. And I was like, well, and it's my fault, but the reason why I even bought it because you're a mechanic, and I assume, which is my fault, that you would check the product before you sell it to somebody because you wouldn't want nobody to sell you a lemon like that when you're a home mechanic. So he like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was like that. I said, man, whatever. So right now it's in the shop. So that's why we didn't record Tuesday because we had that ordeal. So, but it's all good in the hood now. So yeah. Thank you,
that
Jesus.
That was last week.
That was last week.
So that's why y'all didn't get a podcast.
But like I said, we're back, you guys. So,
we are back.
In today's news, what's going on?
Oh, what isn't going on? Drew Brees retired. He finally announced his retirement. Everybody knew it was going to happen. It was just when he was going to announce it, and he announced it on social media. That's all he did. He used the kids to announce it on Instagram.
20 years in the game.
20 years in the game, 15 in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
One Super Bowl.
That's fine.
Which is totally fine.
He gave us some win.
There's still teams that never won a Super Bowl, so.
Who? Like Atlanta? Is it like the Atlanta win the one?
No.
Yeah, Dirty Birds.
Because they always want to brag, we've been in the Super Bowl twice and you lost both of them. So
both of them. At least we went one and won one. You feel me?
that was you that was telling me that the Falcons had posted congratulations, Drew, but we won't miss you.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. I was talking to Pretty Pocahontas the other night. I was like, bro, who are we? We must gonna have to be buying somebody for us to be doing all these I literally just got a push alert like a minute ago saying that they let go Quan Alexander. So I mean, we cutting people.
And they're restructuring a lot of contracts to where people are taking pay cuts. So Michael Thomas got his contract restructured. Cam Jordan got his contract restructured. They cut the punter. They cut a couple other people. And then what else? Taysom Hill's contract got restructured. He re-signed for 4 years, but all 4 years avoidable. So they could just up and cut him anytime and not have to guarantee him any money.
Damn.
Like they won't have to owe him. They could just like there is no minimum. Like, so it's not like we have to keep you for 2 years out of the 4. Like they say all 4 avoidable. Winston got a 1-year contract for like $14 million, which is up from the $1 million they signed him for last year. So I mean, they're making some major moves. So they looking to throw some money at somebody. So I mean, and Drew Brees retiring, that frees up a lot of cap space too. So we'll see what happens come like draft time. And I mean, it's still free agency.
Right.
And from what they're saying, it looks like Winston is going to be the starting quarterback, but we'll see. I just need him to stay out of trouble. We were joking at work. We was like, Jameis Winston wins us a Super Bowl. He can get all the crab legs he want.
All the crab legs you want,
Get
brother.
all the crab legs you want. You can eat as many W's as you want. It won't be weird anymore because you'll actually be winning.
Right. We're going to see. Like I said, it's going to be interesting.
Like, I have no problem with Jameis Winston. There's a lot of people who's like, I don't want Jameis Winston. I have no problem with Jameis Winston. I just want him to be a better person, period.
Oh, he has to. If he's going to be starting quarterback, he needs to be able to lead the team. Because this is your second chance team.
Just like it was for Drew Brees.
Right.
And I mean, just like it was for a lot of players. Because I mean, a lot of people don't realize like all of our like big name players were not first round draft picks or like top draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thomas, Kamara, Cam Jordan, all them. None of them were first round draft picks. We rarely give first round draft picks, and people get upset when we like trade and give away our first round draft picks. But most of the time, we get a lot of good diamonds in the rough,
right?
That are
most definitely.
They were good enough to be drafted, but not like first round draft pick because a lot of them ended up bust, like Johnny Manziel and Ricky Williams wasn't that great for us. And Ingram eventually came around, but he wasn't like great from the start.
Right.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He wasn't great from the start. Reggie Bush was pretty good.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of times them first round draft picks are pretty bust. It's very like you shell out a ton of money and pray that they're going to be good, but then they end up getting cut because it's like you're not worth all the money we forking over.
Like I say.
Which is the same thing that happened to Tim Tebow as much as everybody wanted to try to make it as much as like a religious thing. Like they just don't want a religious person. It's like, no, Tim Tebow was not worth the money that they were forking over for a first round draft pick who was also a Heisman Trophy winner.
Hey.
And, so that's what the Saints have been good at is because I mean, most of the Super Bowl team was either like some second chance player or somebody who got drafted like low. Like people forget that Tom Brady got drafted really low his year.
There you go.
Like Tom Brady got drafted in like the 6th round, I want to say.
So that draft shit don't mean shit.
Right.
Just let people know.
And Drew Brees' career was supposed to be over after he injured his shoulder in San Diego. And we took a chance on him and look what happened.
15 glorious years. Like I say, man.
He came in 2005 and it took him, 4 or 5 years to give us a Super Bowl?
Now, I will say this, though. We, and people can argue me against it all you want, those motherfuckers cheaters out a couple Super Bowls.
Oh, they did. But everybody knows that because it had gotten so blatant that even around the league,
the fucking bounty shit, that was bullshit.
The bounty was a
year after we won, right?
Yes.
The year. What? New Orleans? Oh no.
And Sean Payton was suspended from coaching the entire year.
The whole year we didn't have a fucking coach. So we had that bullshit. Then we had the shit with
we had the Minnesota Miracle, which that wasn't cheating, that just was heartbreaking. And then the following year was the Nola no call. So
like I say,
it was hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt. But yeah, but the Nola no call was like so blatant that was like a league wide, like, man, they screwed y'all. You know, because normally people will be like, oh, y'all just making excuses for sucking and blah, blah, blah. Like, Nola no call was like so blatant, especially since the DB was bragging on the fact that he intentionally made a helmet-to-helmet hit.
Right.
That every commentator, every analyst, you know, other coaches around the league, other players, like everybody was like, man, that was bullshit, you know? So, you know.
It's all good in the hood though. Like I said, we're going to see what this year brings us. But
I'm willing to give Jameis Winston a chance. I don't think Taysom is going to be the starting quarterback. I think he enjoys playing Iron Man ball. So yeah, I think he really enjoys. Yeah, you know, even though he got his chance to play quarterback and they won games and stuff like that, I don't think he cares for being like a quarterback all the time. I think he finds fun in playing
the different
positions where he's needed. Like he legit is just like, where do you need me, coach? And
wherever get that W.
You need me to be the gunner. You need me to punt the ball. You need me to be the quarterback. You need me to be the wide receiver, the tight end. I'll be the center. I'll be the running back. You know,
I'll be the water boy, whatever.
I'll be whatever. Like Taysom Hill will do whatever.
We just better keep Hill. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said, he got a 4-year contract, so they plan on keeping him for a good bit as long as he's producing.
Oh, he will. That he will. Stay Hill, please. I gotta get a signed jersey from you.
We love the Mormon missile.
The Mormon missile.
That's what Kamara said he calls him, the Mormon missile.
Once again, Drew, thank you for what you did for the city. We love you. We appreciate it. You know, we hope that you stay, which I don't see him leaving.
Well, I mean, he has a gig as a commentator for NBC Sports. So we'll see if that's going to cause him to move or if he's just going to go do that on the weekend and come home. I mean, it wouldn't be no different from playing football and going to an away game. So I don't see why he would leave. I don't know. I don't see them leaving.
I don't see him leaving. Yeah, hey, Drew, you better not leave, goddammit. You got walk-ons. You got your Jimmy Johns down here.
It don't matter. Newman is probably going to try to make sure all three of them boys are on the football team just like the Mannings.
Bro. Stay your ass here, Drew. We love you. Stay here. But, yeah, man, that's fucked up. And probably by the time you listen to this shit, everybody should have their stimulus.
Hopefully.
Or their stimmy.
They say they're trying to get it to everybody before Easter, which is the 4th of March, right?
I think
it's the 4th of March.
Yeah. No, April.
I'm sorry. We're in March.
Right. So hopefully everybody get their money. Mine's probably going to come through the mail because that's how I got it last time, as a paper check. But I hope everybody gets it and, do what you want with it. I might buy me a little more crypto and stocks. But other than that, shout out to Uncle Biden coming through with that. They're saying there may be one more stimulus package.
Yeah, I think they're trying to at least get one more. Because they're hoping we're in like herd immunity around the summertime.
Right.
With everybody getting the vaccine
just give me 5. I need 5 stacks. That's all I want. Uncle Biden, if you're listening, give me 5 stacks. Yeah, give me 5. I got 5 on it. That's all I want. But anyway, on to the next subject. So the other day, Creole, while I was at work, she was at work. she texts me this long ass shit about Instagram psych doctors. And I'm like, something must have triggered her. I ain't know what. Because whenever she puts anything in the tweet, something, that's her outlet. Whenever she want to get something off her chest, so she goes to Twitter. So when
the Twitter rant wasn't even long.
It was long. But I have it set up on my phone now that whenever she posts something, I get a notification.
I figured that because you text me right after I posted it.
You goddamn right. Because now I know that if she's ever mad or if I did something and she doesn't tell me, if I get a fucking tweet. I have
never subtweeted you.
I know, but I'm just saying, if there's something going on and you haven't spoke to me about it, I check Twitter. But anyway, so go ahead and explain yourself, babe.
Okay, so I was just like talking about how, everybody thinks pretty much the general idea is everybody thinks they're an expert at things now. They've like done a little bit of reading on psychology. Like they took like one psychology class in college. I mean, I did too. And I mean, now they want to diagnose.
Sociologist special.
Yeah. So now everybody wants to diagnose everybody on Instagram or like social media. And like y'all are like abusing words like toxic and narcissism and things like that. And, and it's just gotten to the point where it's like, not everybody wants to like diagnose everybody. And like, that's the excuse. Now, granted, some people do have actual problems, but like, I feel like we're getting to a point where people are starting to use some of these terms to either make an excuse for their part in something on behalf of somebody else. Well, I'm not in the wrong. You're just toxic, or I'm not in the wrong. He's a narcissist.
Sorry to cut you off. Friday, Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out.
Okay, I gotta watch WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision. It's tight.
So yeah, it's like, it's he's a narcissist. Like, yeah, we broke up because, oh my God, he's such a narcissist, or oh my God, he's so toxic, or I'm just a toxic person, so that's why I'm the way I am. And like, and
you're talking about that. I've been hearing that on Clubhouse. A lot of these chat rooms be toxic, narcissist. Yeah, narcissist. And,
that shit. And everything is childhood trauma now, too. Mm-hmm. Everything is, I'm this type of person because of childhood trauma. Well, so-and-so is this way because of childhood trauma. He cheats a lot because of childhood trauma. Or he could just be a hoe. Or he just like women. Why it has to be based on like a childhood trauma?
It's childhood trauma.
It's like, oh, you're insecure. It must be based on a childhood trauma. And that's what I tweeted. That's why Retro was like, what are you talking about? Because it's the truth. It's like, that's how it is. It's like, oh, I'm feeling a little insecure about my weight today. I need to lose some weight. We're like, oh, well, you feel that way because of some childhood trauma. And it's like, or I could be a 32-year-old woman who is knowledgeable of the fact that she is fat and she needs to do better. It's not due to like any reason, or like we know somebody, and the people we know are gonna be like, ooh, Tiffany, why you had to talk about her? But Retro know who I'm about to talk about, but I'm not gonna say her name. But it was the same thing. It was like she got married for all the wrong reasons to the wrong guy. And I mean, yeah, he did some shitty things like go on vacation with another woman for his birthday and publicly post it while they were still supposedly married. And he really didn't give a shit. But everything, her favorite word to describe him and to not own him to the fact that she like forced this marriage was that he was a narcissist. Oh my God, he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. I'm doing my thesis paper on narcissism because, I'm an expert on it considering the fact that I married a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. And it's like, no, you got married because you wanted a baby. You got jealous of your friend having a baby and you forced your second marriage so you can have a baby. And y'all were divorced in a year? So yeah, he may be kind of a narcissist, but also you also forced a marriage that he probably didn't want to be in. And so, and I just feel like y'all abuse narcissists, toxic, and now the new one is childhood trauma. You know, not everybody has childhood trauma. Some people have childhood trauma and they get through it. But I feel, and yeah, it does hinder some people, but I also feel like some people use it as a crutch. As an excuse as to why they are, oh, well, you know, I'm really bitchy because I had childhood trauma. You know? And it's like, no, you're just a bitch. Like,
no, that's childhood trauma. I mean, you know, I'm the way I am because of my childhood trauma, but I don't want to talk it.
Like, I'm a really terrible person to you, but you know.
I don't want to talk about it. So, for all y'all Clubhouse, Instagram, psychs, I need to see y'all certification. Okay? I have a friend who is a psych doctor. Her name is Catherine. If you need, she does family therapy and whatnot.
And she don't do half the shit that these people who took one psych class do. Like, she actually has a degree. She actually has a practice, but she don't go walking around calling everybody toxic narcissists with childhood trauma. You know, she's not around here trying to diagnose everybody.
Right.
And that's why I told you it was like the like people are getting to the point where they're like the episode of My Wife and Kids when Jay went back to college and was taking a psych class, and she was diagnosing everybody in the house, and she basically told Claire that she was like suicidal and pretty much like she was like really vain and attention seeking and blah blah blah, and it was gonna eventually lead to her like committing suicide. And like Claire like runs off crying, and like Junior's running around. I was like, yeah, Mom diagnosed me as a bipolar schizophrenic, you know, and all kind of things like that. And eventually like Michael like tricks her into diagnosing herself. Cause she's like, yeah. He was like, I know this. He's like, I got a friend that's like this, that, and other. She's like, oh yeah. And she's like going through her book. She's like, yeah, it says the person is a textbook, bipolar, schizophrenic, da 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 da. She's like going off, and he's like, oh really? Like, so what does it say you do to help that person? It's like, well, it says right here, you grab them by the shoulders and you look them lovingly in the eye. And then you shake him and say, you're acting like a nut. He was like, oh, that's what you're doing? She's like, yeah. And so he like grabs her shoulders. And he looks her loving in the eye. And he shakes her and said, you're acting like a nut. And she's like, you tricked me. He's like, because you're going overboard with all of this. And that's how y'all sound. Like, that's how a lot of people really sound on social media these days. Like, everybody wants to like diagnose everything, and everybody wants to be super deep and like look way too into things. Like, I'm dissecting these lyrics, and that's because it's gonna trigger your mind, and it's psychological, and it's not that deep, fam. Like, before y'all start going off on the deep end, I just need y'all to repeat this phrase. It's not that deep, fam.
It's not that deep, fam. And that's why, like I told you, that's why social media is social media.
I just like laugh at it. I just like, bro, y'all do the most to try to, because we've come to this age where people, instead of being actually intelligent, people are pretending to be intelligent so they can have this higher feeling about themselves. And I mean, it's good to be confident. Right. But the fact that you only do this so you can feel like you're higher than a person or on a higher pedestal, and I'm way more enlightened and woke than you are because I don't listen to such things, and you just don't know, and you're just a sheep. And like, dude, chill out. Like, chill. Like, let people enjoy their music. Let people enjoy their movies. And I'll say, it's not that deep. Like, a lot of things are really just on surface. It's not that deep.
It's not, fam. It's social media. It's
That's probably the name of this podcast. It's not that deep, fam.
There you go. It's not that deep. What else we have on the list?
We did say we were going to talk about, since we're talking about Instagram psychology, we were going to talk about imposter syndrome, like, heavily.
That's on you if you want to dive into that, because that was your whole thing anyway.
Well, I mean, it's just that we were discussing it because you complain about the fact that I walk around with this attitude where I'm a bother to people and I don't belong or I don't fit in or whatever like that.
You do,
and you always talk about, people love you and blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I don't see it.
Crazy.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. And as
like,
much as we joke about when we're famous and when we're famous and when we're famous and we're going to hang with this person, we're going to hang with that person, we're going to go to these parties and blah, blah, blah. I probably wouldn't feel comfortable.
Well, guess what? Invite me to the parties. I'll be there while she be sitting there home. Talking, I don't know, because, you know, they really don't want us to, want us to come.
Because I'm good for being like, well, they invited you, they didn't invite me.
Exactly. That's stupid shit. And then if I go there without her, then they go like, oh, where's your wife? Where's Tiff? Oh, well, she said, since you didn't directly invite her or said that you and Tiff
that you didn't want me here, yeah.
That you didn't want her there. And they're going to look at you fucking stupid. What?
And it's just going to have to, because, I mean, that's just...
No, because you're going to bring your ass or you're going to send in the car, and then I'll be like, babe, they say you could come. Here, could you tell her that she could come inside? Shit.
Because I do. Because, I mean, like I said, not to, like, diagnose myself, but when I read about, like, actual, like, imposter syndrome, and I hear actual celebrities who would be like, yeah, I do feel like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't, you know, I still feel like I don't deserve to be there. I'm not on a certain level or whatever.
Craziness.
It just, look. But I'm gonna tell everybody now. Like, all the people who are like, Tiffany's weird about friendships and things like that.
She is.
I always feel like I'm a bother. I'm never one to initiate texts, you know, unless I really need to, because I feel like, I don't want to bother this person. Oh my God,
since we're talking about this. So, me, Creole, and one of her classmates from high school, we went to
defense, as a New Year's resolution, I hit her up and said, come on, let's go to brunch for the first time. I made the move.
Right.
So I'm getting better.
So, this is the friend who was just newly engaged. So we meet up. Finally meet up. I'm like, hi, my name is Raphael. Hi, my name is Keisha, blah, blah, blah. This is my fiance. Woo. Had a great time. And I told her, I said, could you please call this motherfucker up and take her places, wherever. I don't care where. Just take her somewhere so she can have a good time and laugh and all that other shit. That's what I told her, because that's what she needs. Because if not, you know, that's one thing I have my circle of friends, and I don't get to hang with them quite often because a lot of them work. We got different work schedules and stuff. But there's some times that, I want to hang out with my partners. But I don't want to hang out with my partners and have a good time knowing that she's home.
I have no problem with that.
I don't care. I know you don't have no problem with that. But like we said this at the table. It doesn't matter. It still feel like it's guilt to us. Okay? Now, like you said, like this weekend when you was out on the bachelorette trip, see, if I was off, I would have been rolling with Cam or whatever. But, you know, I had to, I work on the weekends. But that would have been fine. So, like I said, I'm glad. Shout out to Keisha. It's Keisha, right? Mm-hmm. Shout out to Keisha. Please call this motherfucker up and go somewhere, especially now that you got your weekends back too. Oh, yeah, I do not want to hear no shit about you being inside. So, you working, so I don't want to hear that shit. You better call Keisha. Y'all better go do something. Help her plan her wedding, whatever the case may be. But don't you beat your ass inside because you be complaining about not having your weekends. Now you got your weekends back. I don't want to hear no shit. Call your friends. Call them up.
All right.
Shit.
Like I said, I just got to get over the idea of being a bother, being a burden.
You ain't being a bother. Trust me, a motherfucker
and you already know how I feel
me.
about being a burden.
Right, but a motherfucker would tell you, hey,
it took me a minute to feel like I wasn't a burden to you.
Crazy. Shit, since we talk about that, another thing, so I saw a clip on Instagram, and it's, what's your girl name?
Cynthia Luciette.
And the dude?
I don't know his name.
Pull up on your phone, because I know his thing. And while she pulled that up, yeah. So the clip was, she does this long distance
series with this guy.
I don't know his name yet because, like I say, she got to pull it up. But they do a series of this being in a long distance relationship. So in doing so, they did want to talk about the guy was sitting there, heartbroken and shit. He was like crying, upset. And he was like, she was like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" He was like, "Man, I lost a good one."
Darren Brand.
Darren Brand.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cynthia.
He's on Wildin' Out actually.
Man, shout out to Darren Brand and
Cynthia Luciette.
So he was like, "Yeah, man, I lost one of my partners. I lost a good one." And she was like, "Oh, what's wrong? Everything okay? You're like, nah, I just need some time to figure things out." She's like, what you mean? I mean, what's going on? He's like, "Yeah, my friend, I don't know, let's say Crystal." And she was like, "Who? Crystal? Who's Crystal?" You know, "Man, I'm trying to tell you what's going on. You worried about all the other stuff."
Yeah, because he was like, "Yeah, man, she was a rat." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yeah, that was my ex-girlfriend.
Right. I'm talking about what you ex me like. Yeah, I mean we dated back in what did you say, like elementary school or something?
Yeah, like elementary and middle. And but then he was like they lost their virginity in college.
Right.
Like they hooked up in college.
So she was like, "Why you crying over some dead cat?"
It's a roadkill.
That's a roadkill. So I said that to Creel and I said, "Motherfucker, this is your ass to the fullest." So I was
it's us. It's us.
Right. I was like, "So you can't cry over X?" And she's like, "Nope." And she's like, "So if I go to the funeral," she's like, "I'm coming." I'm like, "Why the fuck you would come? You don't even like the girl."
It don't matter. Make sure you don't wild out too much. Because the minute I see you fall on the casket crying or trying to jump in the grave talking about some take me with you, we gonna be fighting.
Ain't nobody doing that foolishness. Talking that shit.
You better not get up there and give a eulogy.
What if they ask me to?
No. You're not about to sit there and profess your love to somebody.
I'm not professional. I like, look, she was straight. She was good. I pray she's in heaven right now. And that's it. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Kiss my ass in the backseat of the bus.
He's so stupid, man.
So, what else?
Well, you just gonna end it like that? And that conversation like that?
I mean, what more you don't talk to your exes, so I ain't gotta worry about it.
I don't. You think I've killed all of them?
Yeah, there's a good chance.
God just knows my temper, so he just makes sure we don't cross paths.
You know where my heart is.
Because I almost fought one in the parking lot outside the post office. And this was like after I accidentally ended up on a shopping trip with his baby mama.
Yeah, see what I mean? So yeah, God knew.
That wasn't my fault. I didn't know she was friends with my friend.
God knew
that was just
what
uncomfortable. I just remember texting Tanaj SOS and she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I'm shopping with Jamie and my ex's baby mama who he tried to get back with me right before they had their kid is at the mall with us."
Wow shit. Wildy coyote shit. But that's the life we live. Oh, Pablo.
Then I know what else we want to talk about. We wanted to talk about old girl that I sent you on Instagram who's pregnant with her 4th kid at 23.
Man, listen to this shit. Run the story.
So I'm going through my reels and I stumbled on this girl's page. Her name is Jess something. Not just hilarious. She's just something. And
just fucking.
She was explaining the story of her life on multiple parts on her reels. So I saw one and I caught a bit of it. I was like, what the fuck? So of course I ended up going on her page, going on a rabbit hole, and I start watching all of the parts of it where she's explaining her first kid up to now. So I'm gonna shorten it for you and run the story. It's not that short, but I'm gonna run it for you. So, apparently she got pregnant at 14, 15.
All right.
With a boyfriend. Hid it from her mom. Her mom started feeling like she was pregnant. Like she had noticed she hadn't gotten her cycle or something and all this stuff like that. So her mom was like, "Are you pregnant?" She's like, "No, I'm not pregnant. I've been getting my cycle or something." And her mama didn't believe it, so she got a pregnancy test. So she made her take a pregnancy test, but then she faked the pregnancy test so it come back negative. She just ran like water on it. Mama still didn't believe her. Take her to the doctor. She gets an ultrasound. The doctor's like, "Oh, she's 8 months pregnant."
Oh, you little bitch.
Mom gets mad, kick out the house, but then eventually she went go stay with the boyfriend and his mom, who was excited about the baby, apparently. But then her mom like had to change her heart and like took her back in the house. She gives birth to the baby, had real bad preeclampsia. Of course, her mom was like, "That's what you get for hiding your pregnancy because now you have all these like undiagnosed issues." So she has one kid now at 15, 16 years old.
Right.
Her and the boyfriend are chilling, being parents. She gets pregnant again at 17. Has the baby at 17. He realized the baby something's wrong. Asks for DNA test for the baby. Baby not his. So they break up. She got 2 kids by 2 different men. Guys. I'm not even going to say men because she's still a teenager. So she has 2 kids by 2 different dudes. Single mom at 17. Apparently, first baby daddy goes to jail. She go visit him in jail. She said while she was visiting him in jail, she meets new dude who's in jail, apparently.
Another inmate.
They link up. He gets out maybe like a month or 2 later. They link up. They're dating. And she gets pregnant for him.
Nigga, what's going on?
So this is baby daddy number 3. And I think she said she's like 20 at this point. So this is baby daddy number 3. Supposedly they got engaged. She called out the engagement. So she's a single mother of 3 at 20, 21. She's now 23 years old. She is pregnant with her 4th kid with another guy. They're supposedly engaged. She's like, well, we are getting married and blah, blah, blah. I sincerely hope that this one does work out. Because I just, I don't know. And everybody's like, and she's like, oh, I'm not trying to make it cute or funny to get pregnant young, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but you keep getting pregnant.
Right. One is one thing.
Like you can make a mistake with one. There's a statistic that says usually teen pregnancies are followed by like another like pregnancy like a year or 2 later.
But for 4 different men?
About 4 different men and you 23?
That's a lot.
Because clearly you had like the first baby daddy was loyal to you and you messed it up by cheating on him and getting pregnant by somebody else.
True.
So you was just out here wilding.
True.
You got pregnant young. You got pregnant with the second one at 16, 17 years old.
Preach.
Cheating on him. And so he broke it off. So that was your fault that you ended up a single mama too. Because you cheated on him. Then you meet the 3rd dude in jail going to visit the first baby daddy.
Now that's the trip part. You got one, your baby daddy's in jail. And you hooking up with another inmate.
And then she's like, well,
in jail.
I told him I didn't want another baby yet, but then I ended up pregnant.
I don't
So
hear that.
you didn't try to prevent it then?
No.
You put it all on him to prevent it.
Of course. It's always on us.
He want a kid, you don't. But you gonna rely on the dude who wants a kid to pull out.
It's always on us.
And like I said, she's like, oh, I'm not doing this to trying to make it cute or funny
Bullshit.
or blah, blah, blah,
They think
blah.
that shit is cute, have these kids as a motherfucking accessories and shit.
And I just, I don't see the appeal of having multiple kids by multiple men like that. Like just one after the other. Like I can understand if like you got married, like my cousin's wife.
You got married, got divorced, or your husband died,
so like
shit like
my
that.
cousin's wife, they got 6 between the 2. Okay. She had 3 with her husband.
Right.
She had 3 boys with her husband. Then she had a boyfriend with where she had her daughter. So that was 4. Then she met my cousin with the 4, but she's also 7 years older than my cousin, previously married, with 4 kids. That's not a problem. And then they got together and had 2 kids as a married couple. Okay? So yeah, she has 6 kids by 3 different men. But this is also in 2 marriages.
Right.
You know? But to just be out here just having a baby by every dude you sleep with, I'm sorry, that's just, I hate to be like, but it's lazy. Like it's you just not preventing it. You just having a baby just by any dude. Well, it's an accident. You can't control it. Or blah, 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 as one friend told me. Oh, when you can't control these things, they just happen.
Lies.
I'm 32 with no kids.
Lies.
There's ways to prevent these things. Some people just don't want to do it. Because I've had people be like, oh, girl, you on birth control. You know that mess with your body. And you should probably get off of it. And, oh, girl, I can't mess with that. I would rather the weight gain from like a depot shot or whatever like that. I would rather the weight gain and having to deal with all that stuff than to be out here just having a baby with every dude I sleep with. Because I don't want to be on anything and I'm relying on him to do everything. And next thing you know, he's convincing you to let him go raw. And, oh, well, you better make sure you pull out. And one time he don't, because he either lazy or he decide he want to trap you or whatever like that. And boom, here you go with a baby. With a dude you don't want to be with.
Be smart about that shit,
just
ladies.
be smart about it. And
be
like,
smart.
Y'all gotta stop like getting upset. You know, I know every woman wants a good man or whatever like that. And that's why everybody be mad at old boy when he be telling chicks that.
Oh, Kevin Samuel?
Yeah. Cause he do be having some strong points about like some of these women who are out here with like all these kids by all these different men and then turn around and they want a guy with 6 figures and blah, 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 blah. And getting mad when the guy is going, well, I want kids. Well, I'm tired. I ain't got no more. I don't want to have no more kids because I already got 4 and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I sat up here and waited and not had any. And you going to tell me that you want to be with me, but, you know, I want kids. But then you telling me that you don't want no kids. Okay, well, then I'm going to find a woman that wants to have kids with me. But you can't get mad when you done having kids at 25 and he is at 32 established and ready to have his kids.
Right.
You know? And then you also can't be cheeky and be out here with 4 baby daddies talking about, I want a man with no kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to be no stepmom, but then get mad when he don't want to be a stepdad.
I have heard stories of that. I have heard
many stories like that too.
Where a woman, like you said, have 3-4 kids with 4 different dinges, but that's like, well, I want a 6-figure man, but he can't have no kids. What the fuck? Like you got kids by every dude you been with, but you want him to be childless. I don't want to be a stepmom to nobody kids because I don't want to deal with a dude who got baby mamas, but he got to deal with you having baby daddies. Right.
Like, how's that fair? And they got dudes who do the same thing to chicks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got dudes that'll turn around and get with a chick who sat up there and not had kids, and he got 3-4 kids, talking about, I don't want no more kids. And she's like, well, I want kids. Well, I'm tired of having kids because I already got 3 mouths to feed and they taking up all my child support and all that stuff. Okay, well, then I don't want to be with, man, these chicks just don't want to accept a dude with kids. No, you being cheeky by telling her you don't want no more kids when she wants kids.
Don't do no need.
And that's also, you know, Casey and I was talking about on the trip. She had asked if me and you had talked about, kids. You know, when we have kids and stuff like that. She's like, I know this is like a stupid question. I was like, well, it's not a stupid question. And I flat out told her, I was like, because people don't have these discussions.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't have these discussions before they get married.
Exactly. Before they even date. I was saying this a while back. I say you ask, there's nothing wrong asking the questions you want to ask, especially the hard question. Because that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They live in that honeymoon phase of relationship and all that, but y'all never talk about especially
the ones that get engaged after a year. There's nothing wrong getting engaged after just a year or two. as long as y'all have talked about everything y'all gonna do. Like you say, some people get in that honeymoon phase and it's like, we dated for a year and then we got engaged after a year and we got married after another year. And then you get into marriage and you realize y'all haven't talked about what religion y'all kids are going to be raised in, how many kids y'all going to have, if y'all going to have kids.
How you going to discipline them?
Yeah, how y'all going to discipline them? Who's going to work? And my mom and dad always told me a story because if you don't know, I'm Catholic. And so when you go to get married in the church, you have to take pre-cana. And a lot of non-Catholics ask what pre-cana is, but think of it, pre-cana simply is just like the Catholic version of premarital counseling, essentially. And so what it is they ask you a bunch of questions, almost like the newlywed game, if you remember how that was, where, they ask the husband a bunch of questions and see if the wife's answers match up. And then they'll ask the wife a bunch of questions and see if the husband's answers match up. So essentially, the man and the woman take a survey that is like a bunch of questions that essentially you should have down pat and have the answers to that should match your spouse or be somewhat close, saying this is how our household is going to be. Oh, well, if he's Baptist and I'm Catholic, then okay, how the kids going to be raised? Well, like Jamal and Macy. Macy's Catholic, Jamal's not. But Macy was like, LJ is going to receive all of the sacraments. And then when he gets older, he can decide if he wants to stay Catholic or not. But just to make sure he has his sacraments, he's going to be baptized Catholic and take his sacraments. So those will be done,
Gotcha.
But that was like the agreement that they had. But, they ask you questions about, do you want kids? How many kids do you want? Who's going to work? Because a lot of people think that's like a simple question. Oh, yeah. And my mom and dad went to pre-cana and they say they had a couple. When they asked them who was going to work, the man said, no wife of mine is going to work. My mom didn't work and I want my wife to be at home when I get home and I want her to raise our kids and be a stay-at-home wife. The woman swings around and goes, no, I'm going to work. Well, I don't want my wife working. And she's like, well, I have a master's degree. My parents paid way too much money for me to go to college for me to waste it being a homemaker. And they got into a full-blown argument, stormed out of pre-cana, and mom and dad say they never came back. They don't know if they got married. Because that might have been the end. But you have to discuss these things. Like, you can't just jump into a marriage, jump into a relationship and not discuss. Like, people think those are simple things, but those are like really make or break things in a relationship. Like, that's what happened to Jeannie Mai. Jeannie Mai didn't want any kids. Her first husband claimed he agreed and didn't want any kids. Then he up and decided he wanted kids. So then they got divorced. And then in the process of getting divorced, he got a woman pregnant. So of course she was heartbroken because this is a man she was with for 10 years who said he agreed with the fact that she didn't want kids, only to then turn around and change his mind.
Well, then that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the Neo situation.
Right.
He said here, he was married to her, right?
I think they were engaged. They were engaged. They were together. They had, him and Monietta had 2 kids. And sat there and they agreed. He didn't force her to tie her tubes.
Right.
But they came to the agreement as a couple that was supposedly getting married and was supposedly going to be together forever, that they were done having kids. They had their girl, they had their boy. He said he was good. He didn't want any more kids. And then he turns around and tells her, I don't want to be monogamous anymore. And then he's already told her, he didn't want any kids. And then boom, he pops her with Crystal. She's pregnant. He marries her. They have a second kid. Now they about to have a third kid.
Boom. Talk that shit out, people.
You got to. You have to.
Talk that shit out.
Because a lot of people don't think these are like make or break conversations, but they are make or break conversations. They are, because you may find out that y'all are not on the same pathway. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and people have to get out this mentality of just like having random kids and things like that. And yeah, accidents happen, but I mean, only so many, bro.
So many is quote unquote accidents.
Yeah. I mean, you can have 1, maybe 2, like spaced out or whatever like that. But I mean, when you start having 3, 4, 5 accidents, and then getting mad when somebody with no kids wants kids and you tired of having kids because you think you have enough, or vice versa, or you dating somebody and they don't want to be a step parent. I mean, you can't be mad at that. Right. You could be heartbroken, but you can't be mad at like the situation you're in. I mean, it's not fair to the other person to have kids and say, I don't want to have any more kids when you know the other person wants kids.
Mm. Nice.
You know, and you have to sometimes say yourself, well, I'll put myself in this situation, unfortunately, you know, and you just have to like tell yourself like, yeah, there's just certain men or certain women who don't want to deal with that mess. Because Lord knows I was mentally preparing myself. The older I got in my 20s, that I was like, I guess I might have to settle for somebody with a kid. Because it was looking like everybody had at least one kid. True. So I was really like mentally preparing myself that I was going to have to date a dude. And I was going to have to be a stepmom to at least one kid. And accept the fact that, you know, that I might not necessarily be the one to give him his first child. Which is another thing too. Is like, as much as y'all don't, like, people don't care. Yeah, some people feel some type of way about not being the father or mother to your first child, especially women.
I mean, that's an honor.
Yeah, it's an honor, especially if the other woman has his junior.
Right.
You know,
that's an honor.
It's, you know, as much as people may pretend whatever like that, you know, sometimes you feel some type of way that, you know, that you're in a relationship and you're experiencing being pregnant for the first time and all of the pregnancy stuff and all the cutesy stuff and the baby shower and stuff. And he's sitting up there going, oh yeah, I've already done this 3 times. You know?
Yeah, it takes away from it.
You know, or the same thing with him. He's like excited about, you know, her being pregnant and the baby kicks and the baby shower and buying the gifts and stuff like that. Down. Yeah, and she's like, oh, calm down. It's not that big a deal. Ugh, I already did this 3 times. You know?
Yeah, I know how that feels. I definitely know how that feels.
You know, and just, you know, and that's one thing I look forward to with you, you know,
I look forward to the same thing.
Is experiencing everything for the first time together, as opposed to like you or me going, oh, this ain't no big deal. I've done this before.
Yeah, I already had kids.
You know,
so
it's not that big a deal. You stressing about this and stressing about that, and you know why you worry about that, and you know, it's like, you know, that's one thing I do look forward to, and I mean, and that's special. There's something special about experiencing a lot of things with your partner for the first time together. Because it makes the adventure more fun as opposed to feeling like somebody is just like pulling you through it because they've already like charted the waters and ventured out without you.
Crazy. Like I said, talk it out before y'all sit here and get deep into something, and then you find out towards the end, oh, this is not what I want, and you be disappointed.
Yeah.
So maybe one day, babe, they'll learn.
Nah,
it's really not that hard. It's very simple.
It's very simple.
People make relationships complicated.
They do.
Ooh,
like it's work, but it shouldn't be hard.
I know what I want to say. So. And we had our mark. I'm in with this.
We can go a little further.
No.
I mean, we've gone like 5 or 6 minutes over.
I understand, but I'm tired.
I know you dozing off.
Lakin said, in order for us to get her to listen to, we have to talk about like, because she listened to those murder, criminal podcasts and stuff.
So
like first 48 hours and shit like that type of thing.
So she wants me to talk about the DeFeo guy dying? Or like what she want? Like
I mean she wants some
If you don't know who DeFeo is, he's the guy who killed his whole family that inspired the movie Amityville Horror. He passed away yesterday. That's why I'm like, is that what you want me to talk about?
Whatever. Just because I'm like, because she listened to podcasts. I said, have you listened to ours? She's like, well, no, I haven't. I mean, but you know, what do you guys talk about? Because I listen to murders and all this and that.
Yeah, and this is why she's paranoid about everything.
Exactly. And she was just saying, and she said that too. She's like, that's why I'm paranoid now and da. So we have to dedicate a podcast to like some murder shit, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So we could get her. So that podcast could be just for her ass, and she could listen to it. So yeah, Lakin, it's about to be nominated in. We're going to hook you up as soon as we can. So
Okay. Yeah, so we'll figure out what's some grim horror stuff we can talk about.
Right, we gotta find some grim shit just so we could keep her entertained, because she's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we're gonna hop on a podcast one day, as goofy as we are. It's like, we're gonna talk about the Manson murders. There we go.
There we go. Shit.
Oh man.
But you guys, like I say, we are at the end.
Are we gonna listen to our podcast after this?
No.
Tomorrow's Monsters?
What?
We're gonna listen to Tomorrow's Monsters after this?
Oh, you talking about that podcast?
Yeah.
New one is out?
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, but shit, maybe their car broke down.
Well, let's see. Nope, it's out.
It's out? Yes, we will then. So, good podcast that Creel put me on. What is it?
It's called Tomorrow's Monsters. It's a fictional podcast. It's almost like the old school, like when you watch the movies and they talk about like the them reading the stories,
like theater
over
radio.
Yeah. So like Waterworlds, if you know what that is, like on the radio and things like that. So it's a fictional podcast with John Boyega, who actually is the producer of it also, and Darren Criss.
Yo, shout out to Darren, Chris, and John Boyega. If you guys would like to be on our podcast, please give us a call. Contact us through Instagram, and we'll work this out. But yes, it's definitely, she put me on it. I'm tied to it. So we're going to listen to that after we're done with this. But with everything being said, I want to let you guys know that we are grateful and thankful for you guys keeping tuned into us and subscribe to us. Make sure you spread the word. Tell everyone about us. Keep on pushing that plug for us. And I guarantee you we're going to come out with more content, great content, and just keep your eyes open on us, okay?
Oh, you done?
Anything you want to say?
We love you guys. Keep supporting us. We appreciate it. The love from everybody around the world, literally. We've been appreciating the love from everywhere. And it's amazing seeing all of the different places.
Right.
Because at first we would see some places pop up in the stats and be like, and we would justify and be like, oh, well, we know somebody who lives there, and we know somebody who lives there, and we know somebody who lives there. And now it's like, we don't know anybody in Minnesota, and we don't know anybody in Anaheim, California. So we're starting to go, okay. There's random people finding us, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it so much.
So keep on following us, keep on liking us on Instagram, Facebook. You can find us. And what's more, thank you for tuning into another episode. But yeah, I'm Retro.
And I'm Creel.
Peace.
Bye.
Let's go. Your girl Creole. Let's go. Your girl Creole. Oh yeah. It's your girl Creole. Let's go. It's your girl Creole. It's your boy Retro. It's your boy Retro. But yeah.